What is up, boyos?
Hello, boyos.
You know what's exciting, Nick?
What's that? What's up?
Our What You Been Playing are both next generation games.
That is exciting.
I don't know if you noticed that. I think we just jump right into what you've been playing. Today we're talking about all sorts of different things. We're talking about PlayStation. We're talking about Xbox. We're talking about Take-Two. We're talking about everything, baby. We're talking MPD numbers. Yeah, let's just jump into what you've been playing.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go back to last week's question.
I'll start. So I've been playing Tetris Effect Connected, which is a new Xbox exclusive for the next generation, but it's also on PC.
For now.
I didn't manage to get an actual Xbox, nor did I try. But I do have Game Pass on PC, so I was able to play Tetris Connected. And dude, I've put so many hours into it already. Like I'm just just nonstop playing it. They put so basically with the online mode, because Tetris Effect has been around forever, but this online mode is basically a whole new game. The online mode, the lead designer for the online mode is a classic Tetris like master. He goes by Green Tea, and he's like one of the top dogs of Tetris, the tournaments and stuff. So they brought him in, and they have a really cool like multiplayer like co-op mode, which is awesome, and then your more standard like Tetris competitive. But then there's also a classic Tetris mode, which basically emulates NES Tetris, and this is a huge deal. And I'm gonna nerd out for a second because this is a huge deal for me because I love classic Tetris. Because the only way to play classic Tetris formally was to either have an emulator or go out and buy an NES. And classic Tetris is so different than modern Tetris. You can't hold a piece. There's no ghost. Really? Yeah, there's no holds. There's no ghost. As soon as it touches the ground, it stops. Like it's just there.
Damn.
There's only
hard
one.
Mode.
Yeah, basically, it's really freaking hard. And RNG. So the way RNG works in Tetris, I'm giving a Tetris lesson here.
Fine, we got time.
The way Tetris works nowadays is there's seven different blocks, right? So every 7 blocks, you will have a chance to have one of the blocks. So basically, the longest drought you'll have without getting a line, like a smooth line, in modern Tetris is 14 pieces. You know, if you get it the first one and then the last one. The longest you can go without a flat line is 14 pieces. In classic Tetris, it's more true RNG. So you can go 43 lines without getting a flat piece, which is insane. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm excited for the Tetris community that they finally have a game to make it more convenient to hold tournaments without having a million CRT TVs and like NES setup. Now they can
Can I ask if that classic Tetris, does it have the Tetris effects on it? Or did they like completely go back to like the old school look with the gray and the very basic colors?
The background in class, we'll have to play after this at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it looks bonkers at the background. They did make it look really cool. But yeah, Tetris Connected is awesome. I love the co-op mode as well. We've been me and our buddy Brandon have been smoking through that a little bit.
Yeah, I played that a couple of nights ago when we were waiting for the launch of the PlayStation 5. We're just like, well, we got a couple hours before it happens. Let's play Tetris Effect. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. You're better at it than me, but
you just got to watch a lot of Tetris and you start to like pick up on certain things. Nick is totally frozen right now, which is super cool. But yeah, Tetris. There you go. Hello.
No. Can you hear
God.
me? Here I am. Hello. Sorry.
There you go.
Is it happening again? Is it happening again? Am I?
Robot? You're back.
Hello?
I can see you.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
My internet is Fisher Price internet. Yeah, that's really exciting. I didn't realize that it was coming to Xbox Game Pass so soon.
I've been excited for Tetris Connected for a long time, but I kind of accepted my fate as a PlayStation player that I wouldn't be able to play it until it came to PlayStation in probably like May of next year. So the fact that it came to PC, I guess I should have suspected that it would have come to PC because everything Xbox comes to PC. So I don't know why I didn't put that together, and it runs okay on my computer.
Yeah.
So what you been playing, Nick?
Well, I picked up and beat Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I can't believe you beat it
in 2 fucking days.
That's insane.
The PlayStation 4 version, because the whole we'll talk about it later. But I played the PlayStation 4 version. Little laggy, a little glitchy. It's got a little bit of hiccups here and there. Like it's definitely made for the PlayStation 5. Super fucking good though. It's
Is there a platinum?
I believe so. Ooh. I believe there's a platinum. It is harder. Ooh. The platinum is harder, it seems, to get than the original Spider-Man game.
I don't like hearing that.
It is also about a third of the length of the original Spider-Man game, I want to say. Maybe closer to half. A third to about a half of the length.
That's still a pretty good amount of content, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's super good. The characters are incredible. The fights are so good. The boss fight and the fight right before that are just like some of the best. It's not as good as like fighting Dr. Octopus on the side of a building in the first one, but it's pretty cool. Fucking great. It's pretty fucking great. And like the end just hits you in the heart and you're like, fuck, this is Spider-Man, dude. And they're so true to it. They're so true to like the whole Spider-Man things. All of the villains in Spider-Man are great, and they really keep it up. And they kind of give you a little bit of like end credit. You know how Marvel movies have like the end credit thing where they kind of tease the next thing. They kind of do that in this one too.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So if you play it and you beat it, just wait for the end credits. It's about halfway through.
Sort of like God of War did that too. The little end credit thing. Yeah, where I think it's been long enough that we could talk about it.
Well, we could just say spoilers.
Yeah, it ends with Thor showing up at his door.
Oh, right. Yeah, and then you see his hammer. That's right. Yeah. It was like that. It's a little, you see. Oh man, Osborn. The Osborn dad. Man, I can't remember his name. But you see him like talking to like a scientist, and it's like, ooh, what's gonna come next?
Ooh.
So it's really cool. I'm super excited, and
I'm excited to play it. And I own it, and it's sitting behind me somewhere. But it's a PS5 version, so I can't even play it because we'll get into it in the show. We should cover this question here.
Last week's question.
Last week's question, we asked, as we say goodbye to this generation, what are some of your favorite memories? What are you excited for most as you look toward the next gen? What was your favorite game? We got one reply from Cooking for Group here. Hey, I like the new game review section Nick did this week. Good job,
thanks,
Nick.
Dude. Thanks, dude.
This gen, I enjoyed the kind of shift away from all AAA games being first-person shooters. And with the next gen coming forward, I hope we leave loot boxes behind. Best game from this generation is, I think, Sunset Overdrive.
That's a pick.
That is a hot pick. I agree with
that.
I've never even played it, dude.
Dude,
I have played it.
You can borrow it. You've got an Xbox.
I don't. No? I sold my Xbox.
No. You can borrow my Xbox.
Well, it's on Game Pass. I could play it on PC, I suppose.
I don't know if it's on PC, though.
It is. I can play it at very low settings, I'm sure.
It's very, very worth your time. That is the best. One of the only reasons to buy an Xbox One, in my opinion. My humble opinion. I have 2 games for the Xbox One. 3 games. One is Titanfall 1. 2 is Sunset Overdrive, and 3 is Cuphead. That's it. And Titanfall 2 is way better than Titanfall 1, so you don't even need an Xbox there. And Cuphead is on all platforms now. So the only reason to get an Xbox One is Sunset Overdrive. It is that good. It's made by Insomniac. Speaking of Spider-Man, it's made by the guys that made Spider-Man. So it's fucking fantastic.
I find it interesting that he brought up the fact that first-person shooters aren't the big thing, because that's true. Last gen was pretty heavy first-person shooters. Even if you look at like Fallout 3, even Skyrim, 3. Which I guess is not like a shooter per se, but it is like a first-person's perspective. I've always kind of been a fan of the more third-person sort of look myself.
Same.
But yeah, last gen we had Far Cry even was pretty huge.
A couple of them.
Yeah. And he mentions loot boxes. I feel like we might see more single player games come down the pipeline. I actually, if you don't mind, I might use this as a transition into a story, and we can just cover this story real quick.
Yeah, dude. Whatever. You're the host, man. You go on whatever tangents you want to go on.
I feel like next generation we might see more single players, and if we see a multiplayer game, they might be smaller in scale, because we saw a lot of like Destiny-esque, like Division sort of esque games come out, and those are huge risk but huge profit margins, right? And that's why they do them, is because like if it lands, you get that Destiny money, and you can actually be like, "Fuck you, Activision, we're gonna leave."
Right.
The reason I bring this up, we've talked about Anthem a lot as one of the failures, but another game that did a sort of similar thing is Marvel's Avengers, and it's just come out that Marvel's Avengers has lost 96% of its players on PC since it launched, less than a month ago? About a month ago?
September, October, yeah.
So, yeah, a month maybe ago. A little over a month. So,
That's terrible.
Yeah, and these are high-profile games, and I think a lot of people are saying, hey, I would have been super at least all the comments I'm seeing, you can't go by comments, but these are some of the comments I've seen are like, hey, I would have been way more interested in a Marvel's Avengers game, especially made by Crystal Dynamics, if it were a single player game. And
single player like Lara Croft almost.
Yeah, and if not a single player game, just a single player game with the option of co-op. But instead, what they made was a sort of online co-op Destiny PvE sort of online game, instead of just making a coherent game. Because I haven't played Marvel's Avengers, because I could smell the writing on the wall with that game a mile away. And
I really, when they announced it, I was really hopeful. I'm like, this could be really good. They got Nolan North, Troy Baker, a couple other really good voice actors in there. And it's like, man, if they're jumping on board, this is either going to be a really big game or a really good game. And it was neither. And as it got closer, it was like, whew, this game is rough. And then it just kept getting more and more rough the closer it became to release date. And it was like, yeah, I'm not picking that up.
Yeah, when they announced it, all we knew was, hey, it's a Marvel Avengers game made by Crystal Dynamics, the guys who made both Hitman and they made Lara Croft. Like, these guys are known for making pretty decent multiplayer games.
Well,
single player games. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. And they didn't quite deliver on that at all. And I think a lot of people are seeing like there is a lot of money to be made by making a Destiny game, but the problem is if a player already has Destiny or the Division, they're not gonna go to another one.
Yeah.
What people want, what gamers want, like me and Nick and assuming people listening to this, what they want are just more fucking good games. We don't want to be nickel and dimed all the time, you know? We just want to play a good ass game.
Yeah, and if it's a games as a service, you know, where you keep up with it and you don't really give out all the content at once, but you kind of do like the little this season pass kind of things or seasonal kind of things, and it's good, then you know I might stick around. Like Modern Warfare's got me hooked because it's good and it delivers a lot of extra shit. Whereas like it seems like the game, at least this Marvel game, it came out and went. Everybody just kind of went, you know, fine, but they're not doing anything, and there's no plan to do anything else. At least we haven't heard of any plan to, you know, continue. We know Spider-Man's coming eventually to it, but only for Sony people. We know Hawkeye and the Hawkeye clone lady are coming to it, but we don't know when. So it's just like that transparency needs to be there for people to be interested and to stay interested in those kind of games.
I think personally, like, even beyond that, even if they had a kick-ass roadmap, because we saw it with Anthem. Anthem had a roadmap, and they canceled that roadmap because it failed horribly. But that's the thing, is like, we have so many of these games, and it's like, you don't see multiple Leagues of Legends. You know, people tried the whole MOBA thing, but it's Dota and League of Legends because we already have Dota and League of Legends, and that's the game people are going to sink their time into.
Yeah.
What we want from an Avengers game is not League of Legends. We want a kick-ass, you know, Avengers game.
Spider-Man game.
Yeah. We want a game like...
Batman. Give me Spider-Man. Give me,
exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that, but you can have, like, intuitive combat and, like, you know, you could make it co-op and, like, make it really kick-ass, but with a kick-ass story. I hear the story's lacking in short because they focus so hard on endgame stuff. Not the movie Endgame, but you know, post game, you know, material. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they really fucked up, and I think next gen. Just to go back to his question, I think next gen, we're gonna see a departure from that kind of stuff. Yeah, at least I hope so.
I believe that. I sincerely believe that. We have some news stories in here that kind of swing it the other way. So we could could be half and half, you know?
It's kind of what it is now anyway. I
kind of want to go over his question a little bit more. What was I going to say? Loot boxes. I don't think loot boxes are going to last very long. They'll still be in sports games probably, because how else are you gonna fucking make money?
That's true. You see loot boxes a lot less these days than just regular ass games.
You know, I think when Overwatch 2 comes out, if it's a different system than loot boxes, then I think loot boxes are just gonna die out. You know, because that was a huge driving force in today's loot boxes.
That's the thing, though, is like I think Overwatch 2 could get away with it just because it's Overwatch.
I think you're right, but I feel like if they wanted to, they could do something else. Maybe it's still scummy, but they could do something else and then push the generation into a whole new. Instead of loot boxes, we have loot, you know, pinatas or whatever, you know, not Fortnite reference, but something. I don't know what it is. Somebody in a marketing team is going to be like, this is better than loot boxes, and we can make triple the money from it.
I think loot boxes work okay in a game like Overwatch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think as long as they're fair, like
the thing that I like, I personally like loot boxes as long as I can get them in game without spending like 6 billion hours in it. And Overwatch kind of does that. Every level you get a loot box, and they have events where you get loot boxes on the regular. And it's all cosmetic stuff, so it's like cool. I got a thing for my character. I kind of wish you could narrow it down, like just give me loot boxes for this character, you know. I wish that was kind of a thing. But what was your game of the generation, do you think?
Man,
Just throwing one out there, not officially, but just what sticks out in your mind right now.
Well, I guess Last of Us was last gen, huh?
Yeah.
Persona 5 is probably up there. Breath of the Wild, if you want to consider that part of this gen or last gen.
I'd consider that.
Those are kind of the two pillars for me.
Really?
Those two games.
For me, it's The Witcher 3.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's is The Witcher.
Yeah, it's super good. It, paved the road for bigger and better RPGs.
Truly.
Kind of killed Assassin's Creed for me. Like, literally, truly killed Assassin's Creed for me. I played it and I went, wow, this is much better. Assassin's Creed's shit. And it's
You know what else I think it killed? I think it killed Bethesda. Because I remember when remember when Fallout 4 came out and everyone's like, it's okay, but like The Witcher came out last year and it was like way more polished and better than that. And I think that game specifically kind of hurt Bethesda in a lot of ways.
I believe it. But Bethesda, I've seen a whole bunch of lists of Dishonored 2 on a bunch of people's lists.
Dishonored 2, huh?
Yeah, I don't like it, but I've seen it. Saying,
it'd be fun.
The level design is really good, but
it'd be fun, Nick.
Titanfall's level design is really good.
It'd be fun if we made like a bonus episode where we just like went down some of our favorite games of the gen.
I have them all written down.
We should do that. Sometime.
I was going to make a video, but then my fucking computer decided to be weird and make it all glitchy.
Well, we could do a Loner Gamecast fucking bonus show. Maybe this week or next week. That'd be fun.
For sure. That would be. We could do that.
Speaking of Sunset Overdrive, though, and we were also talking about The Witcher, right?
Okay.
And I mentioned when you were like, you haven't played Sunset Overdrive, you have an Xbox, and I mentioned I sold my Xbox,
right?
Because the next generation is coming. So I sold my Xbox and I picked up Cyberpunk, which has been delayed, and I picked up Spider-Man PS5, which I can't play because I can't get a hold of a new PS5. That's our next story. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S have both launched this week.
Horrendously.
Horribly on both ends, although a little less on the Xbox front. But Jesus Christ. Just like the pre-orders when the PlayStation 5 launched on Thursday. What a clusterfuck, dude. Me and Nick and a few friends, we were all online refreshing several tabs waiting for midnight to happen. Midnight happened and all of the sites crashed. All of them. And then when they were back up, all the consoles were gone. Yep. Walmart had a thing where they had 3 different time slots to come in and try and pick up a PlayStation online. Site crashed every single time, and you came back, cart is empty, it's gone.
You hit checkout. It would be in your cart, and you hit checkout, and it's like, we're sorry, that product is no longer available. And you're like, oh, okay. All right. So fuck me then.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. I've heard that we might see some on Black Friday, but I don't have my hopes up for that even. I feel like, people who didn't get their PS5s are probably not going to get their PS5s till next year. A few people have, but what's happening, and we've seen it online, is it's just the bots are going in, buying every PS5 and selling them at a huge markup.
I don't know if it's necessarily just bots. I think it's people who know how to work the system, and they've been working the system for a while with limited releases on everything. So they just kind of know how websites work and stuff. And they just kind of do it, or they set up in a very specific way, have 6 different computers all linked to proxies, so their IPs are blocked, and then they just go and then buy them all up. I saw something on Reddit where a guy had 45 PlayStation 5s. Like, what? That's 50. That's nearly 50 people that could be playing PlayStation, me included. I do have to say something. I know this is kind of out of line for the way that 2020 has gone, but that Thursday when the PlayStation 5 released, or whatever attempted to release, was probably the most depressing day of 20. It was the worst day of 2020 for me personally.
It's true, because like 2020 has been so fucking depressing, and the one like shining light is like, well, at least we get the PS5, and I don't even get a goddamn PS5. You're kidding me, dude.
Yeah, like,
and I've been saving up all year for it, and
it's one of those things where it's like I have my life like planned out around this release. I was going to give my nephews my PlayStation 4 and all my games. I was going to figure out something with the Xbox that I have, probably give that to my brother or something. And you know, I'm out of a job right now, so it would be the perfect time to play a whole bunch of video games while I'm searching for a job. And, you know, it would just save me a whole bunch of money in general. And I'm just going to fucking vent here because he's not going to watch it anyway. I was talking to Brandon, and he's like, yeah, man. One of our friends, he's just like, you know, I'm not going to pick up the PlayStation 5. I'm moving to a different country, and I need to save money. And he's the only motherfucker that got one.
I know. It's so true.
A day before the launch, I went to him and I'm like, yo, Brandon, I'm going to be really busy for like, I got a wedding to go to and stuff like that. I know you're not getting one. Can you look for me or look like double my odds of getting it? Cause you're fucking lucky with this kind of shit for some reason. And he's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes open for you. And I'm like, sweet, thanks. The night before. So this was like midnight when we were all, you know, waiting for the launch on Target. And he's just like, I think I'm going to get it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Hopefully we all have a chance. And then he fucking gets one. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I don't. It's so frustrating. Well, an Xbox it had a little bit of issues, but it seems like that one's kind of smoothed out. It seems like you can just call up GameStop, and a lot of them still have Xboxes.
Really? I haven't tried.
The biggest the biggest thing that came out of Xbox was people thought they were smoking, and like smoke was coming out the top.
Yeah, this story.
But really, it was just people blowing vape smoke through the vent holes in the bottom, and then it would just come out the top. And Xbox had to like make a story or like a tweet that's like, "Hey, we hate that we have to say this, but don't blow vape smoke in your Xbox."
Please do not put particles of water through your Xbox. It will break your Xbox. Oh man,
I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, here it is. The official tweet from Xbox is, we can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox Series X. And I was like, yeah, like what dumb fuck is going? Oh, look at the smoke coming through it. Like,
well, have you seen the design? Like, it's got big vents in the bottom and then big vents at the top. It really kind of
airflow. Well, it's a really good design, honestly. It's a very cool,
pretty decent.
It's kind of how I want my like computer to be set up. My desktop. It's just that very thin, very tall kind of thing where everything just goes up.
The chimney airflow.
The chimney. So people just fucking vaping.
I will say, like, I am fucking upset that I didn't get a PS5 specifically because I think the thing is ugly as fuck, and I can't believe I'm like begging them to take my $500 for this ugly motherfucker that it's about to sit behind my TV and just be disgustingly ugly and horrible, and then in a year they're gonna release something that runs better and more efficiently and doesn't look as fucking ugly as the PS5. Because come on, the PS5 is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. We're going to look back on the PS5 in fucking 7 years when the PS6 is coming out. We're going to be like, what the fuck were they thinking with that ugly monstrosity? Just like the way we look back at the original PS3 and we're like, that thing's kind of ugly. But the PS5 is even fucking uglier. It's got these like coattail things hanging off the top. It's so fucking ugly, and it's white, and they're like making it really hard to change the side panels. What are they thinking? PlayStation, suck my dick, huh?
You know, the PlayStation 1 was a pretty okay looking console, right?
Great look, yeah.
It made sense. It was a box, and it had a circle, and that's where you put the disc, right? And that was basic. It looked like a N64, but instead of a cartridge, you put a disc in it.
Yeah, it was just a
PlayStation 2
gray box.
PlayStation 2, fantastic fucking design. Just a
beautiful
box.
With like weird little edges on it, yeah.
Jutting sides. PlayStation 3, fucking stupid because
the weird
no longer a box. They took the box and went whoop, so you couldn't put anything on top of it. When you put it sideways, it would take up more space, and it was like, this thing's so bizarre and bulky and huge. PlayStation 4, fucking great. They took the box design of a PS2 and went and just kind of like, just tilted it a little bit.
Yeah, it looks great.
Fucking great. Looks great. You put it sideways, it slides right into something, right into the slot. PlayStation 5 looks way too chunky. On its side, it looks so fucking stupid. Standing up looks fine. I think it looks fine. I understand how stupid it looks, but honestly, if it's just slid in, it's only a little bit bigger than the PlayStation 4 standing up. It's maybe just under double the size. So you just slide that next to your TV or whatever. It's not going to be a problem. But anybody who has it have it like horizontal in their center console, it just looks horrible. It looks awful.
And it was like an afterthought.
Yeah, I kind of like it personally. I kind of like it.
I think that the new Xbox looks way better. I agree. Just a fucking cube, and it's just a cube, and it stands there on its side. It looks weird, but it's definitely designed to just be stood up. And I think it looks great. And even on its side, it's just like that's just a cube.
See, again, on the side, it just looks stupid. And the design,
it's just the design of it's oblong,
is really dumb. The design of it's really dumb. If you put it on its side, then you have the airflow going one direction rather.
But it stays true to its name. It's an Xbox. That's a box, baby. That's a box if I've ever seen one.
If we go back to the original Xbox, that thing was ugly as fuck.
Yeah, it had character though.
Fuck. It was like clear and like nasty green. Oh man, you remember that shit? And then the controller was like this hunk of fucking plastic with 16 buttons on it. Oh man, that was probably the worst looking console. I have to say.
No bumper buttons either.
And then but the Xbox, the original Xbox it said Xbox in a little circle, and then it had an X on it with the inside the box, and it was like, that's the most true to name ever. And then the Xbox 360, you're thinking, oh, it's gonna be a fucking circle. No, it's just a fucking. It had a
weird like.
It had little curves. It was like a little.
I thought the 360 was sort of sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little curvy lady.
It's a little curvy. And then the Xbox One is just sort of just a boring sort of.
I kind of like it.
Yeah,
I kind of like.
I don't mind a boring. I don't mind a boring console. Yeah, the S looked great. And the Series S just looks like the One S.
I don't like it because of the black filter that they have on the thing. If that was like white or the whole console was black, I think I'd like that a lot.
I think that's literally there to differentiate it from a 1S.
Yeah.
I really think so, because it looks so identical to the 1S. The Series S looks exactly like the 1S, except for that black disc on top.
That's the only part. I like that. I like the design of that console. It's simple, makes sense, but It's got that fucking nasty black thing that has to be on the outside so it gets airflow. Like, there's no way of getting away from it. Getting away from showing that off.
Well,
yeah.
New consoles. What are you gonna do? We'll never get them. We'll keep you updated on whether or not we get them.
It sucks because one, my nephews don't have a Christmas present because fuck them. If I'm not getting my PlayStation 5 by Christmas, they're not getting a fucking Christmas
present. They don't get a present.
No, I'll figure something out. But they're not going to get a PS4. They're not. What the fuck was I? They're not going to get a PS4. I'm not going to get to play Bugsnax or Cyberpunk. And
I know
the video that I had planned this week isn't coming out until I get a fucking PlayStation 5. So that's just another thing that I can't do because this launch reminds me so much of the Wii in 2007.
It reminds me of the Switch as well, because the Switch was in a similar sort of situation.
It was, but I feel
Switchuation.
Switchuation. I like that. I feel like the Switchuation wasn't nearly as bad though. Like it was.
We just weren't trying to get one.
I guess not. But I got one at Christmas for somebody as a gift.
But it came out in March.
Oh, did it?
I'm pretty sure it came out early. Yeah.
Well, then give it 6 months and we'll have one.
Yeah, it came out. It came out early because I remember they had a game every month of the launch.
That's right.
And I picked one up like 6-7 months after launch, and I still had issues trying to pick one up back then. But that's Nintendo being Nintendo. This is Sony. I expect more from Sony.
They full well knew that they were going to sell a whole lot of systems. Yeah. And there was just so many better ways of doing it. Like people got emails if you are an active user on PlayStation. I never fucking got an email. I have like 13, 14, 15 platinums, and I've never gotten an email from Sony saying, "Hey, would you like to buy a PlayStation 5?" Never got that. Never got an email from them. And it's like, why are we selling these consoles to people who are just going to resell them? Like they're not. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And I understand the reason of them having to sell them online. Obviously, pandemic, all that shit. You got to do what you got to do. But I don't know. There had to have been a better system. I've gone to so many of these fucking websites like Target and Walmart. Don't even have like CAPTCHAs for scanning out bots, which is insane. There's no CAPTCHA? Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Not even like the little click. Are you a bot? No. Okay, cool. Like they don't even have that. It's just like, okay, good. Go ahead.
But I will say, like, I feel like a lot of this has to do with just how popular gaming has become this year. I just think gaming got a lot more popular this year for obvious reasons, and I think it will remain popular. Like gaming's the shit now. Like everyone fucking games. Like, my people who never thought about gaming are gaming now. And especially with things like, Among Us coming out, being huge, Fall Guys. These games are huge.
Animal Crossing. Yeah.
Animal Crossing. Like, these are huge games. Doom Eternal. No, that's more of a gamer's game. But you get my drift. Like, everyone is like, well, I just kind of want to get into gaming now. What's this cyberpunk thing? Like, I think cyberpunk's going to be...
Everybody's talking about.
Yeah, like, I feel like cyberpunk is going to be a shell shock for a lot of people who are new to gaming. And I feel like it's going to create a lot of hardcore gamers whenever that thing comes out.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's already created a lot of controversy, honestly. And it's not even out yet.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Dick. Yeah. This is just cyberpunk shit,
Well, while we're on this subject of how many things have sold, let's go to the NPD numbers, yeah?
Wow, we are jumping all over the place. All right, I'm down. Let's do it.
These are the top 10 selling video games, retail and digital for October 2020. At number 1, we have FIFA 21. of course. At number 2, actually moving up from number 3, we've got Madden NFL 21. Makes sense. At number 3, actually, here we got Watch Dogs Legion. Good job, 3. Watch Dogs.
This is just October or November.
This
October.
This is October. Yeah, this is last month. At number 4, we've got NHL 21. At number 5, we've got Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. That's a cash cow for Nintendo, because that comes with peripherals and stuff, and that
it's way more than $60.
Way more. It's like $200 just for a start.
It's not that.
It's expensive.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, look up how much that is. At number 6, we've got Super Mario 3D All Stars. That really took a plummet this month. At number 7, we've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, still kicking out the jams, dude. Animal Crossing, dude. And it's just FYI, these are still no digital sales for the Nintendo games. So, yeah, pretty wild.
Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is $100.
$100, and that comes with one car.
You get the one car, and that's it. Yeah, you get the one car, and then probably all the little like setup.
How much is an additional car?
$100 probably. You probably have to buy 2 of them.
Shit. Like if you want to race for real, it's another $100.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Let's see.
At number 8, we've got Star Wars Squadrons, which I completely forgot was a thing.
Number 8, really?
Yeah.
I just saw that it went down in price. It's like on sale now.
That's maybe why it's still on the list. I completely forgot that game existed. At number 9, we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. People are really slowing down on that in preparation for the new Call of Duty. And then at number 10, we've got Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time. Good job, Crash. I'm surprised Crash didn't sell more, if I'm being honest with you. Seems like it may have been a bit of a dud, which is unfortunate. You know what I think?
It's really good.
I hear that as well. I hear that as well. You know what I think happened though? I think a lot of people bought the Crash collection for nostalgia, realized how fucking hard those games are and how much they actually don't like Crash Bandicoot. And then Crash 4 came out as a result of them selling so many copies of Crash Insane Collection. Mm-hmm. And everyone's kind of like, I kind of got my Crash fill and I don't want to play it anymore. That's kind of where I'm at with it, because I bought the Crash Insane Collection and I'm like, I'm not sure I like Crash that much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I think Crash 4 looks really good and I want to give it a try eventually.
I hear it is very good.
Any update on the
I'm looking.
Okay. Here are the top 10 selling video games year to date ending in October. So these are the best selling video games of the year. At number 1, we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. At number 2, which is probably number 1 realistically, is Animal Crossing New Horizons. At number 3, we've got Madden NFL 21. At number 4, we've got The Last of Us Part 2. At number 5, we've got Ghost of Tsushima. At number 6, we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake. At number 7, Marvel's Avengers. At number 8, Mario 3D All-Stars. At number 9, we've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And at number 10, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's such an interesting list.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very bizarre. Very.
So, yeah. In order to play multiplayer and have 2 cars on the same track, you have to buy 2 cars. So $100 each.
$200 to race.
$200 to race your friends. One friend. Well,
I have seen a bunch of people using them to do like, they'll connect it to their like live stream and they'll like show their houses off with their fucking Mario Kart just driving around.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea because like when I was a kid, setting up like little ramps and doing RC cars and shit like that, it's super cool.
I don't get it because it's still like you look at the TV. I don't get it.
But you got a little thing that runs around your house. And you're like,
Yeah, but
oh, I
you're
know that couch. Oh, I know that chair. You know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, here's my legs. You know? It's cool for a kid.
It's very gimmicky, which, whatever. Nintendo's known for that. You know what's interesting, though, about these top 10 selling video games of the year?
What's that?
A lot of them are consoles exclusives.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are Nintendo.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 of them are Nintendo exclusive. So almost half of the top 10 are Nintendo. And then
it's because of the lockdown. It's because of the COVID stuff.
Then 2 of them are Sony. Well, I mean, but that means only what? 3 of them are non-console exclusive games.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. I don't know. I don't know why that's so.
Consoles are cheap.
But you know, like you can buy, you know, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on PlayStation, on Xbox. I think it's on Switch too. You'd think it would sell more copies than fucking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh, I see.
Because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is on one system. But I guess that's just not the case. It just goes to show that that's the thing about these consoles exclusive games. They are willing to take risks and they're willing to release a single player game. And if you notice, a lot of these are single player games.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Well,
most of them.
Other than like the sports games.
Well, yeah, it's like Madden and Call of Duty. That's kind of your 2 online games, and Marvel's Avengers, I suppose. Everything else is, you know, a single player game. I guess you can consider Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a multiplayer game, but yeah, it just kind of goes to show that, like, you know, people were kind of projecting that single player games were dead, and they've been saying that for years. Single players are dead. It's just not the case, dude. Everyone wants a good fucking RPG. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I can't wait for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
You know? I can't wait for The Witcher on PS5. I mean, I guess I could because I don't have a PS5 anymore, anymore. I don't have a PS5 yet. So, you know, that'd be really fucking cool to play through that shit. Or, you know, something to that caliber of RPG.
Speaking of console exclusive, I've got these transitions ready, bro. Sony may be acquiring Blue Point Games. This is a rumor. We were talking
about this last fucking week.
But they've been talking about this forever. People have been saying that Sony should buy Blue Point. Where did you hear this rumor?
It was rumor. It was on Reddit. It was like Business Insider or some shit like that.
They probably listened to our podcast last week.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, because it's gonna happen. I mean, we don't spread rumors here. It makes real.
A lot of sense. The last few games that Blue Point has made were for Sony, so I'd imagine it just makes sense for them to join the team. Any update on that?
I'm looking. Yeah, so I saw on somewhere where they're like, hey, one of the things that Blue Point wants is their own game. They don't want to be known as the people who do ports or remake video games.
I was saying that last week too. I was like, what if they're the guys to pick up the Demon's Souls sort of franchise and to continue that on?
Yeah,
I could see them doing it, especially now that they're kind of huge for making Demon's Souls.
Yeah, so it came from Reset Era. And it's just like this guy from Blue Point angle. They want to make sure they get a shot at an original IP. They don't want to be simply a remake studio. While they value and love their independence, they also realize the industry is rapidly growing and evolving. They feel comfortable with their existing partnership with Sony and decided to sell to them. From Sony's angle, very impressed with work ethic from Blue Point, creates groundbreaking remakes at a good pace. That is very fucking true.
Very good pace.
They have a good relationship with other SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment Studios, particularly Sony Japan Studios, that they work together with during both Shadow of Colossus and Demon's Souls. Ape Escape fans, what up? That wasn't an Ape Escape remake teaser. Literally don't know anything about what they're doing after Souls. The expertise, skill, and tech that Bluepoint has for their remakes can be used for future projects not necessarily made by them. In other words, if Team Asobi decides to create an Ape Escape remake, they can go to Bluepoint for help. It fucking makes sense to me.
Yeah,
you know?
they
they could just be like, hey, you're part of Sony. We can ask you a question because we're also, you guys dealt with ports and you have like,
how did you guys do that? Yeah.
What would be the best way to put Ape Escape in the current generation without,
well, and I've been saying this about Bluepoint for a while, is like, yes, they're very good at remakes, but that goes to show they're going to be amazing when they make their own fucking franchise, man, because they're able to, they pump these things out and they build them from the ground up. Like, they know the ins and outs of making a video game. So all they need is,
they know what good video games need to be upscaled, brought into the current generation. So they know what people are looking for, and they know what games people want to play, and they know how to upgrade them. That's kind of what
and
I'm
not
saying.
only that, they're not limited to making a, first-person shooter, third-person action. They've done so many different things. Granted, most of them are third-person, but you cannot say that Shadow of the Colossus and Uncharted are the same at all. They're not. They're very different. And Demon's Souls. These are all very different games, and they have a perspective that a lot of studios don't have, because what a lot of studios do, and why everyone was so impressed with Guerrilla when they made Horizon, is, a lot of people just, they make their first-person shooters and that's it. But
they fall into a rhythm.
Usually,
this company only does first-person shooters.
When you get a team that makes first-person shooters and then you take them into a different realm, they end up making some very interesting shit, because they're going outside the box. They're being a bit more artistic. They're trying to figure it out, which is why Horizon's so awesome, in my opinion, because they're just like, how do we do this? What are we doing? It brings the art back into the games.
It sure does. And then it just takes like an outside perspective of like, well, we've been working on first-person shooters. Now we have a third-person adventure game. What do we want in a third-person adventure game? What can we take from first-person shooters and put into this game that make it different and interesting? And granted, like Horizon Zero Dawn has got the towers like an Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, but they're a little different, It's just kind of puts their own swing on what's already out there, and that's really cool to look forward to.
So last week, this was a really weird thing that happened last week. This comes from Daily Esports. Ubisoft hostage situation turns out to be a hoax. Last week, there was this like hostage situation at Ubisoft Montreal, where like all the staff and stuff were like, they all went upstairs and were like hiding on the roof, and the good news is
we're all like outside and people were coming up with their hands up and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was wild. The good news is that there was never a threat. The whole thing was a hoax, where someone inside the building made the phony call to the Montreal police. The bad news is the whole thing was a hoax, and dozens of people were terrified for hours, stranded on a roof.
Dude, that would fucking suck. You're just at your job working, and then somebody goes, "Oh my god, we're in a hostage situation." You're like, "What?"
So I haven't looked into this a whole lot. So someone inside of the building made the call. So like one of the employees themselves made the call.
I don't know if it's an employee. It doesn't really go into any other details about it.
Those details are probably not out either.
Like
that's
I think
super
this was
interesting.
updated today, so Monday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, until there's a lawsuit, I'm sure there won't be any information. And we'll probably forget about this by the time there is information, but super interesting. I wonder why, if it was made by an employee, I wonder why they would do that. I wonder why anyone would do that.
A Dare? They're bringing back Double Dare.
I was saying it's because they knew they had PS5s in there, and they wanted one of those PS5s.
And somebody walked in there and went, "Give me a fucking PS5!
give me your PS5s! Fuck your money! I want the PS5." Yeah, that was just really weird. It
was very bizarre. It's like, oh yeah, Ubisoft Montreal is in lockdown or some shit like that. And I was like, what? Why? Well, who? Why?
This really is the year of the lockdown.
Usually like these studios don't work in like a whole building. You know, like they don't take up a whole building. It'll be like a floor or two, you know? So like somebody went into like a commercial building, went up to the floor, and then called the police or something. I don't know. Like that's just so weird to me. How that could happen.
Yeah,
it's
really
just weird.
Really fucking strange. How do you fake a hostage situation?
I don't know. I feel like somebody got on their phone and went, "Hey, there's a man with a gun and he's pointing at everybody and blah blah blah," and
everyone ran upstairs because they're like, "Oh, I didn't see anyone."
Yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here. And then rumor spreads, and then the police show up, and they're like, you know, outside, and people are like, "What? I didn't know this was happening." So
you want us to jump? And then they all jump off the roof.
Jump off the roof. Do a flip.
So Take-Two Interactive Software Inc. reaches agreement for recommended acquisition of Codemasters. This comes from Business Wire. UK-based publisher and game developer renowned for titles in the racing genre. Acquisition anticipated to be completed in the first quarter of the calendar year 2021. Take-Two Interactive Software Inc. today announced that it has reached an agreement with the board of Codemasters for the recommended acquisition of Codemasters, the UK-based game publisher and developer. That's weird.
It's all just fancy words to say like, hey, Codemasters can be part of 2K or is in talks of being part of 2K. Go ahead.
That's really strange. They're known for making like the dirt games and
really fucking good racing games.
Yeah, the F1 games. But you know, it's kind of strange because isn't Take-Two already kind of known for, like, isn't Rockstar kind of known for making racing games already?
Well, I mean, the Midnight Club.
Midnight Club, well, and then they used the system from Midnight Club in
GTA 5.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. Maybe.
I really personally hope this doesn't happen because 2K is one of those scummy publishers that just puts loot, money grubbing hands and everything, and I respect.
You'd hate to see Dirt Rally turn into Madden.
Yeah, like, okay, cool. Now you have to spend $16 for 3 cars because we didn't put them in the game. Whereas now it's like, we have a season pass and you get all the shit. And that's it. You're good.
You know what's interesting though? What I find interesting about this, obviously, it's interesting just in the fact that I guess Dirt Rally and those games are going to be Take-Two games now, but
fingers crossed they won't. Fingers crossed.
It's also interesting because Sony has been in the talks, at least it's been rumored for a little bit, that they're going to take over Take-Two. So, I mean,
wouldn't be great.
Wouldn't that be interesting if Sony took over Take-Two and they got all these racing games? I mean, they already have Gran Turismo, but
that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. If Codemasters want to team up with Sony instead, please, because that sounds way better than Codemasters teaming up with 2K. or Take-Two, sorry. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Sony would go after Codemasters.
I don't think so.
They've already got Gran Turismo. That's their guys. But if they took over Take-Two, that's just, some more fucking games for them. I don't think that's going to happen, especially after, like, Jim Ryan came out and was like, no, we want to build studios from the ground up. We're more interested in that. Especially like Blue Point. That's exactly what it seems like they're trying to do with Blue Point. It's like, not that they're building Blue Point from the ground up, but they're not like this esteemed company, but they will be once Sony gets their hands on them.
They will be, and they Blue Point's only done remasters and re-releases. So like if they built them up as their own company, like, hey, you're going to be working on this brand new IP, and that's kind of what you're doing now instead of remakes, that'd be pretty cool. Like that makes sense in there. Taking a company and changing that company when it's still fresh and fairly in its infancy,
Well, and Sony is known for making new IP, and they're pretty desperate for some new IP because, I mean, what are the games in the pipeline? We got Spider-Man, we've got Ratchet and Clank, we've got God of War, we've got Horizon. Like these
Factions.
Yeah,
when
Factions.
Yeah.
When is Factions coming? My question this week is, when is Factions?
God damn it. It's every week. Every week that's the question.
No, but that's true though. Naughty Dog probably will be working on a new IP on their next game. But it's
that's true. Like, I don't think they're going back to Uncharted.
No. Unless they make a third Last of Us, which is possible. But I
could
doubt
see it. I could see it. Take it somewhere else with new characters. Take it to like Tokyo.
I would love to see Naughty Dog make a fucking space game. I want them to make a space game. That's what I want. Give us a space game. Oh, that's where my picture grab is, so I have to look over there to make sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
I have a dual screen, but my second screen is like way the fuck over here. So
Yeah, so I don't remember what we were talking about. When's Factions, man?
When is Factions? Yeah, that's the show, though. What to look forward to next week. We've got another Night City Wire. Maybe we'll get some clarity in what the fuck is going on with Cyberpunk. I doubt it. They're just going to show more things.
I don't know if it was leaked or whatnot, but there was like a 3-second GIF of the intro to the character creator. So it showed like selecting and then like changing facial features. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It looks really deep. Just got to say that. I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch it and I'll kind of mention it on next week's show. So look forward to that.
Here's another thing to look forward to. My depression spiking because I can continue to not find a PS5.
That's true.
Here is the recent reviews via OpenCritic. This is our new segment in the show where we're going to just give you some reviews of the new games that have come out recently.
And if you feel like this segment should go in a different spot, just let us know, because I figured at the end is pretty good, but also, who am I? I'm just a man without a PS5.
Here's some recent reviews, though. Demon's Souls remake with a high and strong and mighty 92% on OpenCritic. That's pretty fucking good. And the way
killing it.
The way OpenCritic works, right? It's like it takes every sort of score and kind of combines it into an average.
Every score of every major,
so like your IGNs, your Kotakus, your
even stuff
Metacritic.
From overseas. Like there was a couple of reviews in Spanish that I noticed, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it kind of takes all of those,
Eurogamer,
puts an average on it, flips it, and goes, this is the average of all of these scores. So it's kind of cool. I really like the way that they
Astros.
do it.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate way to get it, I think. At least a larger sample size. Astro's Playroom at 84, which that's pretty good.
It's pretty fucking good.
Game looks fun.
It does. Can't wait to play it.
This one is surprising to me because this game looked great to me, but maybe it's not. Sackboy: A Big Adventure got a 78.
Hey man, that's still okay. That's still okay.
It's still okay, but I was expecting that to be like a surprise hit. But I guess it's about what it looked like. Kingdom Hearts: Melody of Memory.
Yeah, you don't remember, which is why I put it's like a Guitar Hero kind of game. Remember Guitar Hero Blitz, I want to say, where it was just like 3 or 4 tracks and you press the buttons on the controller?
It was on the 3DS or the DS, I think.
No, not the ones with where you like stroked the little pen, but it was like
don't say stroke again.
Stroke the little pen.
You can just stroke the pen.
Stroking the pen. Playing guitar, stroking the pen.
Yeah, just
like just what is this turning into? Yeah, it's like a Guitar Hero Blitz where you press the button and your guy like moves to that track, and then you press the button in a sequence, and it like that's what it's a Guitar Hero like game where it's a rhythm based game.
Yeah, fucks with it. I don't.
What?
I don't actually.
I don't think you would. I mean, it's all the music from Kingdom Hearts, I think.
Dude, Kingdom Hearts has some bangers.
That got a 79, by the way.
If
just
you
walk
away, we say, oh baby. What's this week's question, Nick? We're demonetized now because my singing's so good.
It was right on cue. Right on cue? Right on
key?
Key, that's the word. That's what it is. This week's question. What day is it today? 16th?
16th.
I'll save that for next week.
When is Factions?
When is Factions? Obviously, that's the number one question every single week. When is Factions? Is it this week? I don't know. We actually don't. That's the one question me and Jake do not know. That's when is Factions? We thought we knew, but now we don't.
Listen, Neil Druckmann, I know you're watching. You can just call me.
He's a huge fan.
You can tell me off the record. I won't even bring it up on the show. Just tell me off the record.
You won't even tell me.
I know, and I know you guys are. I know you guys are really close.
Yeah, I know.
You and Neil Druckmann.
I know, like it's crazy. But my question today is, when do you think PlayStations and Xboxes are going to be widely available? When do you think? Like, what time frame do you think it's going to be easy to get? Like, you could just walk into a store and go, I want that. You think it'll be like a 6-month thing, or you think it's going to be like a Wii thing where you don't get it for a whole fucking year?
That's a really good question.
Thanks.
And we'll answer it next week, along with your answers.
Absolutely.
I like that question a lot. It's really good.
Good. I'm curious because I really want one, and I thought I would be able to get one, and they sell out in a minute. So I'm just kind of curious, how long is that going to last? Yeah, how long is that going to last?
Well, all that and more next week. Make sure you check out the Jake and Corey podcast every Monday. Make sure you check out this show every Tuesday. Also, make sure you check out the new rom-com show that just dropped last week. Make sure you watch that. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? Make sure.
I had to slam out Spider-Man, dude, in 2 days. I had to,
Make sure you go check that out if you have the time. We're constantly making other random shit, so just keep an eye on the channel. Hit the bell, and you'll see all of our stuff all the time.
And as long as it hasn't forgotten already, we'll probably do something with like our favorite games of the generation at some point this week. So
yeah, if not this week, maybe next week.
It'll be up this month probably. If we do something like that, we'll let you know.
Before the end of the year, we will do that.
Great.
That's only a month. It's only a month.
Yeah, that's true. Christmas is right around the corner, man.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
Yeah,
crazy.
Maybe we do save that for December. Who knows? check us out on Twitter. I'm emergency pizza _ old Nick over there is fatal _ microwave, and yes, he is old. He's actually 55 years old. He looks great for his age.
Great.
Yeah. Check me out
It's
on
those child fetuses I eat.
Oh, the placenta.
Right? Isn't that a thing that somebody said somewhere that if you eat like child?
Here's the thing. I'm going into my Alex Jones. Here's the thing.
Freaking frogs, gay.
Here's the thing.
Anyway,
they take the babies, they eat the fetuses. And
you look like this forever.
Yeah, and you look like Nick Sapon. Make sure you check me out. Check me out on twitch.tv/lonercast. I've been playing a lot of Tetris Effect Connected, playing a lot of classic modes. We're going pro. We're like top 8% in the world, baby. Let's do it. Well,
now I'm never gonna be able to beat you.
we're gonna take on Green Tea himself, the head designer. We're gonna take him on. We're gonna fucking beat him tomorrow, baby. We're gonna beat him to submission. All right, thanks for joining us. Bye bye.
Okay, lots of love. No.